In this week's session, we looked at some different approaches to career theory. These theories that we looked at focused on people being ready or a specific developmental stage appropriate to making career decisions. So there were three main things that we looked at. We talked about three main approaches here that I will go through very briefly again here for you. So the first one we thought about was lifespan models. And lifespan models look at people moving through different life stages and only being able to deal with certain career elements at different stages. So for example, in Super's approach, most of you would be in the exploratory stage because you're in that sort of 15 to 25 year age bracket there. And I'd encourage you to think about, do you feel like this? Do you feel like you're in that stage? Do you feel like you're in a different one of super stages? Or does this model not fit with your life at all? Also, if you think you are in this sort of experimentation and testing phase, how does this fit with other issues which impact your career, such as the wider economy and availability of jobs to test and experiment with? And what are the assumptions made about people who try lots of jobs and don't settle down? If you're in this position where you're trying this, seeing if you like it, trying that, seeing if you like it, what does that mean for your long-term career? Is that viewed in a positive way? We also looked at a different lifespan model, and that came from Hughes. So Hughes' lifespan approach came from his work looking at status passage, and status passage comes from sociological research. It's basically an anthropological term which looks at rituals where individuals transform from one thing to another. So some examples you might be aware of are things like bar mitzvah or your 13th birthday or something like vision quest. I asked you to think about the ritual occasions you might already have been through and whether any of these were associated with career. So you might think about things like transitioning from primary school to secondary school, going away to university, living by yourself, these type of turning points and what they meant within your culture and within the context that you come from. We then looked at a mechanism which is a very practically focused model, which comes from the application of career theory rather than the academic study of career. That approach is DOTS, and it is a very common model used by careers advisors and those building career management programs as well. And it builds on trait matching theories. So the DOTS model works like this. There are different elements that people are expected to engage in: self-awareness, opportunity awareness, decision making, and transition skills. And we also put these together with a new element which is about reflecting on this. Now the point of this model is that people can continually use it. It's not a one-shot thing where you go through all the elements and you're done, because at any point in your life you can go through it again. So you continually go around saying, where am I now? What do I know about myself as a result of where I am now? This is the self-awareness element of it. Do I like the job that I'm in? What do I like about the job that I'm in? What's happening in my wider life? And that's the self-awareness element. The O is the opportunity awareness. You then look at, where do I want to be? How, what is actually out there. So it's all right saying I'm very well matched to being a TV presenter, but if there's no opportunities to be a TV presenter, that's not especially useful for you. The D is about decision making, and that's looking at how do I get there in a very practical sense. So that would incorporate things like building action plans, as well as looking at specific decision making techniques. The T is the transitioning element, and this is about implementing my plans. So at your stage here, this is about some of the stuff that we've already done with you on this module around building a CV, getting your interview skills built up, these type of things, these very practical elements for transitioning. But at other points in your career, it might incorporate things like, preparing for retirement, preparing to take some time away from work to spend time with family, or whatever. There's other aspects of the transitioning here. And then we have the reflection element within this, which is about improving my plans. Now the reflection element is a very modern addition to this model, and basically you go round and round throughout your whole life, not just your career elements of life in terms of job related elements, but you should be going around this cycle the whole time. And if somebody was supporting you with career management, then they would be talking to you about those different elements and working with you on those different elements at different stages. Finally, we explored planned happenstance and the idea that we couldn't plan for career in a traditional sense, but instead should be ready for what comes. This approach asks you to develop an exploration mindset, be aware of and have skills ready to maximise when opportunities do come along. The other thing about this model is that it's also about being aware of the wider world and acknowledging that it's not just normal, but it's inevitable and even desirable for unplanned events to influence career. So if you were adopting this approach, you think about indecision not as a problem to be remedied, but as a useful state, something that was helpful for you in order to be able to maximise different opportunities that come along. We cover this model only briefly, so there's a paper on mole for you to look at which gives more detail, because one of the things about this model is it can be a useful technique for critiquing other theories that you're looking at. So finally, don't forget that if you've got any questions, it's much better to put them on the discussion board on Mole. If you email them to me directly, I will just tell you to do that, unless obviously it's about a personal issue, and then we'll deal with it by email or I'll see you. But the reason for that is that other students can answer you. We sometimes get a good dialogue going with people sort of feeding in different approaches, and everyone can benefit from the answers that are posted up there. You don't have to keep sort of going in and out of that board. You can subscribe to the board so that messages that are added are emailed directly to you, which is simple as this. When you're in the discussion forum, you just click here and subscribe, and it's as simple as that, and any new messages that are added will be sent to your university email.